in the name of personal injury law.
Hello, I'm here with Steve Sinas today, and we're going to talk about some unique aspects of personal injury cases. Steve, people think that personal injury cases are simple. Is that true?
Well, they can sometimes be simpler than others, but oftentimes the way in which people are injured brings up all types of legal issues or issues that are relevant to people's rights. So if an injury occurs in a certain location, there could be different laws that apply depending on how the injury occurs. Then you get into insurance coverage issues, who the defendants are, where the case is going to be litigated. And so, all of a sudden you have a case that involves a particular injury, and it's very complicated in terms of figuring out how to handle it. And I'm really happy and proud to have my partner, Jim Graves, here, who's had just a stellar career overall and has handled so many complicated personal injury cases that have involved strategy and great workup and really stick-to-itiveness to actually get it done. So I'm happy to have him here, and he's going to talk to us about a particular case involving somebody who sustained a catastrophic injury at a rental property, actually.
Okay, well, Jim, can you tell us about what happened in that case?
I'd be happy to, and thank you, Steve, for the introduction. This is a very unique case and one that I found to be gratifying as an attorney. It's always very gratifying, of course, to secure a successful recovery for a client. But in this particular case, given the unique circumstances and the catastrophic injuries and the difficult legal and logistical problems that this case presented, made it all the more gratifying. And what started out as being a family vacation should have been a very festive and joyous occasion, turned out to be tragedy for the family and with permanent injuries resulting in paraplegia. What happened was the couple from Michigan with their children decided to take a warm weather vacation in a Caribbean location and invited their extended family to this particular vacation. They were going to celebrate New Year's and spend a week in this warm climate. So actually the grandparents searched online of the various booking sites that we all use and are familiar with. And they found a property that looked online to be safe, secure, inviting. It was well maintained. And so they booked it. They signed a contract and the family went there. And for the first couple days, they had a lovely time. But on day 3, regrettably, gang members invaded the property with masks, with guns. They held them up. And our client, my client, who was a 42-year-old husband, father, did what people would do, tried to intervene to protect his family. And unfortunately, he was shot through the chest in the point blank with his wife standing there. Fortunately, he wasn't shot in the heart, but he suffered a very severe injury to the spinal cord and was rendered a paraplegic. So he was airlifted out of the country where they were staying, brought back to the mainland, underwent major surgery and years of rehabilitation, and to this day is living with his family in Michigan, doing quite well from a psychological standpoint despite the catastrophic nature of the injuries. But the recovery that we were able to make for him was so important for not only himself but his entire family, to give them the security and the financial wherewithal to be able to take care of his medical needs, his physical requirements, the specialized wheelchair and other apparatus that he needs to function every day.
I can tell you this, though, it was not an easy road to that recovery for Jim and the clients.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about how the case was handled, what kind of
Right.
unique issues came up in this case.
Sure. Well, to start with, most people would say, well, where's the legal claim here? Why would these people have a right to sue anybody? These were gang members. As it turns out, with investigation, we learned that the location of this particular beachfront property was in the most dangerous part of the island. It was a drug-ridden, gang-infested area. These people had no reason to know that, our clients. But the owners, particularly the wife of the couple that owned the property, she was from that area. She moved to Chicago from the island, so she knew what was going on in that locale. So we determined that the site on which the grandparents found this location was not truthful. It was really false what they were representing in terms of security. So we brought a suit against the property owners, the couple, who, as it turned out, were retired. They were former educators. They lived in Chicago. We brought the suit in Chicago, where our firm has an office, and I'm a member of the Illinois Bar. We filed suit in Cook County Circuit Court against the property owners, claiming that they had misled the clients in terms of misrepresenting the safety, that they didn't have proper security, and that it was foreseeable that something bad could happen like this on that property.
Did anybody else get sued, or was it just the property owners?
Just the two property owners, the husband and wife at first, right. Now, here's where there was a twist in the case. The insurance company for the property owners, that company is located on the same island where the property is located. The insurance company took the position that there was no insurance coverage for this loss. They said, number one, we won't defend you, the property owners are insured, and even if there is a judgment, we'll never pay it because we believe you were operating a business. And in fact, if you look at the policy carefully and you walk through all the various provisions, and it is complicated and it is convoluted, we were able to maintain successfully that it wasn't a business, that they used it as a residence also. So we sued the property owner, but the property owners had no defense. They had no one to come into court and defend their position. They had to hire their own lawyer.
Because their insurance company wouldn't do it.
Because their insurance company wouldn't pay for a defense. So this couple hired their own lawyers, a very fine firm in Chicago, but they could only afford to pay their lawyers for 6 months going on a year, and they ran out of funds. And so at that point, it was a matter of what do we do next? Now, my client had no interest in pursuing these people personally and trying to obtain their assets. That was not what we were trying to accomplish. We wanted to have the insurance company pay our clients for the negligence of the property owners, but we couldn't get the insurance company to cooperate. As it turns out, they had a very small policy. So we ultimately obtained a default judgment for several millions of dollars. I'm not going to talk about the specific amounts, against the property owners, and then we sued their insurance company, and it ended up in federal court in Illinois. And the reason we were able to sue the property owners' insurance company was that we had the insurance claim assigned to our client. And so there were all types of issues involving venue, choice of laws. I spent a week on the island with an interpreter deposing all the insurance people there, and finally we were able to get the case settled over a period of 2 days of mediation.
Wow.
Several years though,
Right.
and lots of work, so
Lots
it
of
does
work to
take
help out
a
your
long
client.
time sometimes to get that justice for the client.
Well, thank you for sharing your story, Jim.
Sure, thank you.
Your client story.
Right.
In the Name of Personal Injury Law is brought to you by the Sinas Law Firm.